Good morning. It is a real honor for me to join so many friends on this platform and so many friends in this audience to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the first African landing. I think, as other speakers have already mentioned, this commemoration challenges us to reject the simplistic versions of our history and, quite honestly, confront the complicated truth. The truth is, our Commonwealth is both the birthplace of representative democracy and of American slavery. Our nation's Constitution enshrines both the ideals of liberty and justice, as well as America's original sin. Frederick Douglass spoke about this contradiction a few weeks after the Dred Scott decision. He said that American slavery endured not because of any paper constitution, but in the moral blindness of the American people. Now, in this programs over this weekend, we remember the first landings of enslaved Africans. We come face to face with that moral blindness that existed not only in 1619 or in 1776, but unfortunately even today. The truth is, our founders' idea of representative democracy did not include looking at this audience, most of you are sitting out there today. But if they knew that the descendants of the people America had enslaved would one day be free, and that they would challenge our nation to finally live up to our founding ideals, well, that might give us all a little bit of comfort. We honor the heroes of that struggle today, as well as the men and women whose stories are lost to history. We recognize that 1619 also marks the first chapter in the 400-year story of the African-American history. And as Tim just mentioned, that African-American history is absolutely central and essential to both the history of Virginia and the history of our country. Finally, what we do here today is a recognition that's long overdue. Jim made mention of some of the time when he was governor. I remember when I was governor, and my youngest daughter, who was at that point in second grade, was walking around Capitol Square with my wife. And Capitol Square is kind of the front yard for any of us who had the honor to live in the governor's mansion. And as my daughter walked around looking at all these statues, and this was not 200 years ago, 100 years ago, this was not 20th century, this was 21st century, she looked around and said, well, where is the statue of Rosa Parks? Well, my wife, Lisa, thought quickly, and she said, well, Rosa Parks not from Virginia. But Capitol Square in 2002, the only memorials, the only statues were of dead white men, and the majority of them Confederates. That's not 1960s, that's not 1770s, that's not 1619, that's 2002. So with Senator Henry Marsh, we set about and built the Virginia Civil Rights Memorial. And when it was unveiled back in 2008, it was a historic occasion, but it was also fairly bittersweet. The truth is, it shouldn't have taken more than 50 years to honor Barbara Johns in Capitol Square. But it's also equally true that there should have never had to be an occasion where Barbara Johns had to walk out of a dilapidated Moton High School to ask for equal rights as well in Virginia. It's a reminder that no monument or no legislation or no court case can erase the stain of slavery. It will never be that easy. The truth is, an American democracy where all men and women are entitled to equal citizenship is actually a very recent creation. As others have mentioned as well, it was in our Commonwealth where in places like Prince Edward County, communities shut down their schools rather than be integrated during massive resistance. Now, we have made progress as a nation, but the progress is recent. It is incomplete. And that progress will only endure as long as all of us remain committed to both defending it and promoting it. 2 years ago, in a country where we thought again, in the Commonwealth where we thought we'd made so much progress, we saw violent forces of hate and backlash displayed in Charlottesville. This tragedy had a lot of us asking, is this who we are? Well, that history confronts us today and reminds us that the answer is complicated. But one answer is absolutely true. What happened in Charlottesville is not who we should be. And I believe all of our leaders have a moral responsibility to speak up and demand America deliver on its promise of liberty and justice for all. That's why this commemoration and the national conversations it's fostering is so important. If we're going to be a country that truly lives up to our founding principles, then we need to tell the whole truth about our history, the good, the bad, and yes, the ugly as well. So as we mark this 400-year commemoration of the first African landing, it is my hope that this will be a moment to both comfort the afflicted, but also afflict the comfortable. Thank you so much for letting me be part of this important ceremony today. Thank you.